Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually shows you full games of all the tips and schemes I post on my channel. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly against online ranked opponents. Alright, so guys, this is the third part of my three-part series, single back tight doubles, and this is going to go ahead and close this out for you. Basically, I'm going to be showing you how to run two different audibles in this particular formation. Now, as I showed you, one of my base plays, I'm going to go ahead and call. Majority of the time is going to be slot corner. This allows me to go ahead and attack my opponent in different areas of the field, and gives me a lot of different ways to go and to beat my opponent. It also runs off of the halfback dive, which is a very effective and easy play to run. Now, to offer you more ways to attack my opponent, I actually showed you on the second part, halfback stretch, and also the halfback draw, and then the halfback slip screen is another way to go ahead and keep your opponent guessing on the play calling that you're going to be coming out with. Now, one of the base audibles in this particular scheme is wide receiver corner. What's great about this particular play is it allows you to attack your opponent off to the right and the left, and he doesn't know exactly what you're going to be hitting him with. So this is what I do like about it. So let's go ahead and jump into wide receiver corner, and the other play we'll show you is going to be a play action rollout where we can attack our opponent for some pretty big yards. So let's take a look at wide receiver corner first. Now, I'm running against random defenses, so I don't necessarily know what my opponent is going to use because it's a CPU. Now, basically with this particular play, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take strong 9 out of 10 times. I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to do one quick adjustment, and I'm going to go ahead and take strong and actually put them on an out route to give myself a bench read. And what's great about bench is that it's just so hard to stop, and you can pick up some cheap, easy yards with bench. So if your opponent goes into man coverage, 9 out of 10 times that out route is going to beat it. And if you get a good block up the field, you can pick up, go house with it sometimes. Now, sometimes your opponent actually is going to go ahead and try to use some type of press coverage against you, or there might be a defender in the area. So what I like to do is actually another adjustment you can do is to actually take your wide receiver strong and put him on the flat. He's going to be your first progression. If no one goes in the area, just go ahead and hit him. You get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. But if the wide receiver actually falls into that area where no one's actually going to attack them, I'm going to go ahead and take my next progression up. So we got rolling blitz here off the left-hand side, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to attack that area of the field if no defenders in the area. So that's another way to go and attack it. Something I'm not going to do a lot against my opponent, especially if I don't have a good quarterback like Osweiler, but it is a good way to go ahead and attack your opponent at the next level if you want to flatten him up. If the seams become wide open, he runs a lot of cover too. Now, the other way to go ahead and run this play is actually motioning our slot receiver over, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to streak him up, and we're going to go ahead and take our backside receiver and put him in an in route. Now, the reason why is that this gives you a sail look. If you guys have run into formations like the strong close formation, gun strong close, you'll have obviously, or the close formation, you ran into sail at one time or another. It's a very popular concept. It attacks your opponent off to the right hand side, and you have a trailer off the left hand side that you can drop the ball down to. Now, the reason why I actually put Hopkins on an in route opposed to a slant or basically a drag route is that I want Hopkins to move up the field a little bit and then come trailing across, because that's going to be my third and final read. My first read is going to be the tight end, and I'm going to try to rack this up for some easy yards if no defenders are in the area. So we're going to go ahead and slant or streak up our wide receiver number 1. He's just clearing things out, and then I'm going to go ahead and look for the flat. And that's the reason why I actually do that. I actually force it up. The flat was actually wide open, but that's why I have that trailing route on the backside. Now, these are blitzes. These are press blitzes right now that I'm running against, different types of coverages. I don't know what my opponent is going to be using against me, but sometimes you can go ahead and force that circle route as one of your progressions and reads. So this is actually a fairly good play to go ahead and use. It's going to feed off the other series of plays that you're actually using against your opponent, but you want to try to attack that flat off the right hand side. We're going to be attacking our opponent off to the right side completely. And sometimes if you catch them in a Mabel coverage, you might be able to hit them in the seams because all the defenders are going to be in that area trying to defend those areas. So if you have an opponent that Mabels you on the left-hand side, which I probably would highly doubt it, if you use the scheme correctly, you can definitely hit your opponent over the top with this particular play with the streak route. So let's go ahead and jump into another way we can attack our opponent deep with this scheme. Now the final audible we have in this particular play is going to be a play action rollout. Now there's basically two different ways you can run this play. You can leave it stock, and that should open up the middle of the field for you for an easy completion. Because basically the areas are going to be wide, are going to be cleared out for you. And sometimes you can force it to strong, but it's a good play to go ahead and jump into just to keep your opponent guessing. You can see right here the corner was wide open, just a bad pass by Osweiler. So I would definitely go ahead and look underneath and then up to the next level, but this should get wide open for a deep pass against your opponent if you catch him sleeping. Now if you want to go ahead and get a little bit crazy, what you could do is you can go ahead and use the slant route on the back side just to go ahead and keep them guessing. And that actually is just a good way to attack it. Let's go ahead and just motion our guy over. We're going to put him in a slant that gives you the check down that you can go ahead and attack your opponent with. And I also might actually go ahead and just rack it against your opponent if he's sleeping with the streak off to the right hand side. So that's going to definitely keep him guessing. So if he goes with some type of press coverage. But really, a lot of times, those players just can't play all the different areas of the field. So I'm going to do slant again. Fake auto motion. And just go ahead and hit him right over the middle with a big completion up top. So this is a really good scheme to go ahead and use against your opponent. I would definitely go ahead and recommend actually putting it into your scheme. You can quick snap this ball. You can go ahead and check down to the underneath route if he's not paying attention. And it's just going to be a very effective way to go ahead and beat your opponent for fairly effective yards. So guys, I hope you guys appreciate this breakdown. I hope you guys picked up some pretty good tips from it. Once again, this is going to be a scheme that I'm going to be using online against my opponents using this Houston playbook. So once again, thank you for support, and until next time.